Thank you for joining us tonight. You're now with me, Shel Shamnato, for TVS Nightline. As always, we begin with the headlines. Our top headlining story today as the body of an elderly man reported missing was found at the Gov't Bridge around 10:45 on Tuesday morning. A spokesperson for the Fire and Rescue Department said that the deceased, identified as 61-year-old Chong Sia Vun, was discovered stuck between mangrove trees under the bridge.
The body was found stuck in between mangrove trees by a search team about 800 meters from the locations of the fire control post. The deceased was believed to have fallen from the bridge on Monday. The matter only found out upon the discovery of the deceased motorcycle and personal belongings by the bridge. A search and rescue SAR operation team was formed following a missing persons report received at 12:38 p.m. on Monday. However, the operation was postponed at 6:30 p.m. due to poor visibility. The search was continued at 8:30 a.m. on Tuesday. The body has been handed over to the police for investigations.
Another case of found missing body, this time in Sri Aman. An elderly man reported missing while out fishing near Rumah Francis Kaung, Naga Skrang on Sunday, was found dead. A spokesperson from the Fire and Rescue Department Operations Centre said that the body of Tai Japit, 61 years old, was discovered around 12:35 p.m.
The body was found in Kampung Temelan along the Batang Lupar River, approximately 8 kilometers from the rescue mission post. According to police reports, the deceased suffered broken bones on both legs. The deceased was reported missing after he went on a fishing trip alone at around 3 p.m. on Sunday. Witnesses claimed that the deceased dived into the river in order to release his fishing hook, which was stuck in the middle of the river, but subsequently went missing. The search and rescue operation also saw participations from the police, the Civil Defence Force, and the villagers.
Following the next news, as Coordinating Minister for the National Immunisation Programme, Khairi Jamaluddin said his team has no problem if the state government purchased their own additional vaccine shots. However, according to him, procuring vaccine supply or access is not an easy task.
Commenting on the intentions of certain state governments, namely Pahang and Sarawak, which plan to procure additional doses of vaccines in addition to the vaccines provided by the central government, Khairi said his team has yet to receive any application from the states. So far, the federal government is waiting for 2 or 3 vaccine registrations that still need to be completed by the National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency (NPRA). Once completed, the possibility for state governments to procure their own vaccines can be taken into account. Meanwhile, in another development, the government has proposed to establish large-scale vaccine centers in each state. The centers will be built with the ability to give vaccine jabs to approximately 8,000 people a day. It is in line with the instructions of the Prime Minister, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, who wants the vaccination program to be completed this year. The National Disaster Management Agency, NEDMA, will be the machinery to help encourage folks in rural and remote areas to register for the National COVID-19 Immunization Program.
The enhanced movement control order in Kampung Bintawa Tengah and Bintawa Ulu will continue to be tightened, affecting a total of 4,200 residents and 750 houses. Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee Chairman Dato' Ahmad Douglas Uga Ambas said this would ensure full focus on screening tests for 4 days starting Wednesday.
4 days, so that we will know the extent of the spread within this kampung. This kampung, the total rumah 750 dengan penduduk 4,200 penduduk di sini. Jadi ini kampung sangat besar.
At the same time, he said, in addition to enforcing roadblocks, police would also control and patrol several alternative routes that could be used to exit and enter the village, especially river routes.
Telah diambil kira oleh PDRM. Mereka telah pun menugaskan Marine Police. Kalau dia pergi sungai dan nampak kapal di bawah, dia orang ini semua berpengalaman. Sebab itu kita buat keputusan adakan piket PD pada hari ini, bukan kemarin, supaya persiap sedia diadakan untuk menentukan supaya jalan-jalan Tapi saya yakin penduduk di sini akan memberi kerjasama.
Uga said when met by the media after conducting an active case detection ACD visit in the village on Tuesday. Earlier, SDMC in a statement announced that the decision was made following the drastic increase of positive cases in the village, which was 22 new infections.
Now, Linga's waterfront, its completion is hoped to bring convenience to the locals and tourists alike. The waterfront, built at a cost of 3.9 million ringgit, is expected to be completed by May 2021.
Untuk siap gelak, senanglah kami pakai senang jalan-jalan tengok tepi sungai pun senang juga, sioklah kami tengok. Kami senang singgah sinilah, mbak barang kami pergi beli sayur, datang dari seberang pun senang juga.
The waterfront will also provide the locals with premises to do businesses and further enhance the area's landscape.
Jadi atas pembinaan waterfront tu kami di kampung tu alhamdulillah lah ada penambah kebaikan di kampung tu. Mudah-mudahan Lingga tu banyak perubahan yang akan datang.
Welcome back. Now on to the COVID-19 development, as Tuesday saw a total of 204 recovered COVID-19 cases, exceeding the numbers of new cases of 183. Cebu maintains the highest number of new cases, with 73 COVID-19 cases reported.
The Sarawak Health Department has also declared an end to the Mas Merah cluster in Cebu Division. Meanwhile, 3 new clusters were detected in Jelau and Cebu districts, namely the Nangabula cluster in Jelau and the Kampong Hilir and Jalan Sanya clusters in Cebu. A total of 31 active cases are recorded at present, with 10 clusters reported an increase, while 21 others remain active with no new cases. Sarawak also records another 3 new fatalities today. In addition, Marudi district reverted to green zone status, while Selangor district turns orange.
And Malaysia recorded 1,063 new infections, the lowest this year. Meanwhile, a total of 1,365 recovery cases were recorded. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah said 4 of the new cases were imported cases. Selangor recorded the highest daily cases, with an addition of 323 cases, followed by Sarawak, Pulau Pinang, Johor and Kuala Lumpur. In addition, 5 new deaths were recorded. As of now, 152 patients are receiving treatment in the intensive care unit. Of the total, 68 patients require respiratory assistance. On to the next update, as the 2021 International Preschool Education Convention in Sarawak will be held in early October. Assistant Minister for Women, Family and Childhood Development, Dato' Rosie Yunus, said it was the first convention held by the Sarawak Ministry of Welfare, Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development.
The convention will be organised in collaborations with the Sarawak Early Childhood Education Development Council in support by other government and private agencies. The strategic cooperation aims to dignify early childhood education as an important basis in building excellent and quality human capital in Sarawak. The convention was originally scheduled to be implemented last year. However, due to the pandemic, the convention was forced to be postponed. According to Rosie, the convention will be held tentatively on October 1st to October 3rd at the Borneo Convention Centre, Kuching, PCCK.
Meanwhile, individuals fined with 10,000 ringgit compound for violating COVID-19 Standard Operating Procedures or SOP can appeal to have the fine reduced. The maximum compound is aimed at repeat offenders and extreme violators of the SOPs.
Polis ataupun penguat kuasa daripada KKM, Kementerian Kesihatan, mengeluarkan saman tersebut, bukan bererti ia tidak boleh dirayu. Itu adalah jumlah maksima. Dan itu adalah bukan dari pandangan saya, it is not an offence under the penal code. Ini adalah kesalahan di bawah Akta Pengawalan Penyakit saja, di bawah KK.
Abdul Karim added that the Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Atom Baba has already stated that the compound can be appealed since the ordinance was enforced on March 11th. However, the matter has received negative feedback from certain quarters.
Menteri yang mengawal selia ini pun ada beritahu kalau siapa-siapa yang tidak puas hati, apil. Kita apil bukan apil kepada Attorney General ataupun kepada polis, kita apil kepada Kementerian Kesihatan. Mereka yang akan menentukan compound. Those who have got other ulterior motive, definitely they will spin the thing. Bagi tahu inilah kerajaan tidak bertimbang rasa dah dan sebagainya. But ask them, how many has really been asked to pay or not? Ya, mereka belum buat rayuan lagi. Buat rayuan, garanti kena turun. Ya. Inilah pandangan saya sajalah.
In another development, Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah, who is also the Vice President of Parti Bumiputra Persatu, PBB, described the action of Langat Parliamentary Member Datuk Dr. Xavier Jayakumar withdrawing from Parti Keadilan Rakyat, or PKR, as the right decision. He said Dr. Xavier has made such a deep decision before resigning as PKR Vice President and giving full support to the Perikatan Nasional or PN government.
For him to keluar, be an independent and show that he is supporting Muhyiddin Yassin. Personally, I see it's a good move, and I hope there will be more who would be able to look at things the way he looks at things. We have to be more focused. Politicians, the Malaysian public has got to be more focused. We have got a very big enemy. We have got a very big battle to fight, especially now, COVID-19. Tackle this one first. Let the economy be addressed well, and after that, baru kita bertanding lawan lagi lah.
At the same time, the police had received a total of 37 reports throughout the state as of yesterday against a user account who posted a video that allegedly insults Christians.
Sarawak Police Commissioner Dato' Aidi Ismail said the reports have been referred to the Kuala Lumpur Police Contingent. His team has already opened an investigation paper on the case. Aidi said the investigation is conducted by the Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department D5 Unit. Aidi said investigations are being carried out under Section 4(1) of the Sedition Act 1948 and Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act 1988. He took the opportunity to advise the public to be cautious when issuing statements so as to not offend any religion or race.
Good news as 9 new mini recreational parks will be built at various residential areas in Senadin this year. These facilities will encourage residents to live a healthy lifestyle.
Miri City Council, MCC, would be the agency in charge of implementing the projects, which are funded under the Rural Transformation Program. There are mini parks where children would have proper and safe places for them to conduct recreational activities. Besides being used for exercise, the parks could also serve as a means to enhance the existing spirit of neighborliness among the residents there. Last year, 6 mini recreational parks had been built in the state constituency of Senadin. Senadin Assemblyman Dato' Lee Kim Shin encouraged the people to fully utilize these mini recreational parks for a healthy lifestyle.
Right. Now, the Tourism, Arts and Culture Ministry, or MUTAC, through ongoing discussions with industry players, will continue its efforts to submit views and suggestions in ensuring the survival of the country's tourism industry. MUTAC has been communicating and working closely with arts and culture tourism industry players by listening to their grievances and submitting the proposals discussed. In February alone this year, MUTAC held 5 engagement sessions through the Crisis Management Task Force involving more than 30 industry representatives to get feedback on challenges faced and suggest proposals. On issues raised by the industry which are not under MOTAC's jurisdiction, such as wage subsidy program and the opening of international borders, Nancy said MOTAC had brought the proposals and motions to the relevant ministries for action. Dato' Seri Nancy Shukri said MOTAC also brought proposals to the National Security Council meetings, and the results were the permission for tourism activities in areas under the Conditional Movement Control Order, CMCO, and Recovery Movement Control Order, RMCO. Malaysia needs to relook at the way policies are set and the roles of government and institutions to improve its future socio-economic growth. It is important to reassess not just the speed of Malaysia's growth, but also its quality, exclusivity, and sustainability.
In its report, the World Bank suggests that to boost economic growth, Malaysia will have to improve competitiveness, create high-quality jobs, strengthen its institutions, and improve its capacity to finance the transition to high-income and developed nation status. Going forward, Malaysia must also chart a new course for more knowledge-intensive and productivity-driven growth.
Quoting the World Bank's report, Tengku Zafrul noted that in order to boost economic growth, Malaysia will have to improve its competitiveness, create high-quality jobs, strengthen its institutions, and improve its capacity to finance the transition to a high-income and developed nation status. At the launch of the World Bank's flagship report, Aiming High, Navigating the Next Stage of Malaysia's Development, he said international organizations such as the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) expect that the Malaysian economy will go up this year. The World Bank also projected that Malaysia is expected to achieve its transition to a high-income economy within the next 5 years. Thank you for staying with me. Now on to the sports development, as Sarawak will build international standard cricket and rugby pitches costing an estimated 13 million ringgit at the Putrajaya Sports Complex this year. Minister of Youth and Sports Dato' Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah said the pitches would be built on a 4.45 hectare plot of land at the sports complex and that the state government had already approved the project. He said the consultant to build the pitches had also been appointed and the tender for the project, which will be divided into 2 phases, would be called soon.
We will start putting out the tender soon for the first phase and hopefully with the second phase. The first phase would be doing the infra. There will be a little bit of cutting off the hills to cover up the lower area.
The first phase of the project, costing about 6 million ringgit, would involve levelling the 4.45 hectare area by cutting the hilly area and building proper drainage systems for the pitches. Once completed, Sarawak would be able to host national and international level cricket and rugby tournaments in the city. On the same development, Sarawak Sports Corporation, in collaboration with the Sarawak Cricket Sports Association, has built a world-class cricket high-performance facility. Sarawak Sports Corporation has set up a new HPC for cricket with 5 artificial practice wickets, a synthetic surface practice area, including a 25-metre bowler's run-up and 6-metre high safety netting surrounding the section that is comparable to other world-class training facilities in cricket-playing nations like Australia and New Zealand. On the other hand, rubber glove manufacturer Top Glove, Sendirian Berhad, was charged in the Sessions Court at Ipoh today. The company was charged with 10 counts of failing to provide workers with accommodation certified by the Labour Department last November.
The company, represented by its director, pleaded not guilty to all charges before Judge Norashima Khalid. According to the charges, the company was alleged to have provided its foreign workers with accommodation as required under Section 24D(1) of the Workers' Minimum Standards of Housing and Amenities Act 1990. The offences were allegedly committed at 10 different accommodation premises, including at Tasek Mutiara Trade Centre in Ipoh between 9 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. on November 26 last year. The charges were framed under Section 24D(3) of the SAM Act, which imposes a fine not exceeding 50,000 ringgit if found guilty. The court set April 28 for a mention.
And now Volkswagen has unveiled a massive expansion of battery production as it seeks to gain an edge in the electric car race. It plans to build 6 gigafactories in Europe by 2030, which are enough to power almost 4 million Volkswagen electric vehicles. Volkswagen is also adding a huge number of new electric vehicle charging points to networks across Europe, the United States and China. Volkswagen's electric vehicle strategy hinges on driving down the cost of battery systems through a new unified battery cell. It will be launched in 2023 and installed in up to 80% of the group's electric vehicles. The company also plans to recycle up to 95% of the raw materials involved in battery production. The company also needs a secure supply of battery cells as it ramps up electric vehicle production. Volkswagen is expanding charging points in the United States and China. From 2022, Volkswagen's electric vehicles will also support technology that allows them to connect to private, commercial and public energy systems. Wrapping up the Nightline tonight, as Spain and Portugal have a unique way to interiorize the environmental code from an early age. 9 teams from school children from the 2 countries raced their customized Formula 24 and Formula 24 Plus electric cars. With the electric cars, they are revolutionizing the world of vehicles with green power. The race is to use the battery power efficiently as possible over a 1.5-hour period. Victory goes to the team that completes the maximum amount of laps within that time. If the car is driven too fast, the power is quickly drained from the batteries. Therefore, drivers must calculate their strategies to maximize battery life. The cars are powered by twin lead-acid batteries wired in series, supplying 24 volts to a 240-watt electric motor. The project started in the United Kingdom in the 90s and is used in schools to promote science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This will bring awareness among the young people about alternative energy sources, climate change, and pollution issues.
Idea to have electric cars to stop climate change now.
And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. And as always, thank you for tuning in to your local news tonight. Here with me, Cheryl Shamnato, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night.